Hey, what's going on, everyone? So today I'm going to be talking about the alt-right, and I normally don't talk about the alt-right because honestly I didn't really know what the alt-right is, and I've seen videos from like Armored Skeptic, and I saw that awful video from Cult of Dusty that a lot of people have been refuting, and I'm starting to kind of understand what's going on. But then out of left field, there was this video that's been going viral. A bunch of mainstream media has been picking it up. It's from a conference, an alt-right conference, and this guy named Richard Spencer gave a speech, you know, talking about just, you know, stuff that's been happening recently, and a lot of white nationalism, and basically, you know, I just need to show you the clip. Here's the clip that everybody's been freaking out about.
Hail Trump! Hail our people! Hail victory!
So yeah, just on the surface it looks pretty fucking horrible. That looks awful. Looks like there's a bunch of Nazis in there and stuff like that. And it even confused me, where on Twitter I was like, you know, I need help understanding this. And because I kind of always thought like the alt-right was more of like an alternative to, you know, just your mainstream conservatives, your rhinos or whatever, or your like say the whole meme culture, you know, like say the whole Pepe thing. Just a lot of people that are on the internet, a lot of young conservatives that are just like, you know, energized, and that's what I kind of thought. And then all of a sudden I started hearing people saying, oh, they're racist, they're Nazis, they're nationalists, they're Stormfront, they're all this shit, and I don't know, I didn't really get it. But now I'm starting to see a little mix, and I don't know. I saw the whole speech, and I saw some other stuff that was going on. I want to know who the hell Richard Spencer is. I'm kind of starting to understand things now. So after watching the speech, there's two things that I learned about Richard Spencer. One is that he's definitely a white nationalist.
Despite these supposedly egalitarian values, America was, until this past generation, a white country designed for ourselves and our posterity. It is our creation. It is our inheritance, and it belongs to us.
And the other thing is that he's definitely into meme culture.
This was the year when random shitlords on Twitter, it's not just that they are leftist and cucks. It was that moment when we knew Keck had smiled upon us. Pepe!
So based on some of the stuff in the speech, it seems like there's a little bit of white nationalism and some meme culture kind of mixed in there. It seems like what people are saying is maybe there's some truth to both sides or whatever. But I won't say that they're just inherently some racist Nazis or something like that. You know, even though there was that evidence, that footage of them doing like some Heil Hitlers and shit. Well, like pretty much even in defense like of Richard, he was saying himself that like, oh, it's kind of like trolling and stuff, and that there was people that were there and they understood, and you know that there's just, it's that kind of culture to fuck with people, and they're not just inherently just racist cunts, but you know, they're just kind of like proud of their own, you know, their heritage. They're proud of being white and stuff like that, kind of the same way that people are proud of being black or Chinese or what the fuck ever. So I want to show you this little clip that I stumbled upon where he's kind of like talking about that incident at the conference.
You know, let me just pause that for a second. And let's just address that, because first out of the gates, I mean, this is, I just find this hilarious, to be honest. I mean, Mike, you invited Mike Enoch from TRS up on stage, and he kind of, you know, initiated this, the Roman salute as a way of joking about this. I mean, frankly, let's just break this down, Richard. I mean, the media has projecting upon us Nazism for what, a decade now, or, you know, over 4 or 5 years. And so some of the response of this has, of course, been to kind of adopt that almost in a stereotypical way as a way of dealing with it. I mean, it's been used as a weapon against us, and now we're fighting back by disarming them, by joking about this stuff.
It's about throwing it back in their face. You know, whenever there's an authentic movement of identity that is coming from European Americans, you know, we've heard it all before. You're Adolf, you're literally Hitler, you're literally the KKK, you're literally the Southern Confederacy, so on and so on. And I think at some point we just want to throw it back at their face.
So hopefully with some of these clips, you guys can kind of gain a perspective on what's going on with it. And it kind of showing you that the mainstream media is kind of freaking out a little bit too much, you know, because just like, I kind of understand, like at first I was thinking, okay, yeah, there's a bunch of Nazis at this thing, but I seem like, I imagine that they're actually more trolls than just Nazis. Like, I don't just say automatically white nationalists, people that are proud of being white or whatever, and where they come from and stuff are just inherently racist, you know. I don't think that's a thing. And just looking into it, yeah, like it's people, they like fucking talking with people, they already know that they're being labeled racist and all this stuff and all deplorables, all this horrible shit, so they're kind of embracing it. The same way that I embrace the coon thing. I get called coon a lot from a lot of black people or whatever the fuck. So yeah, I embrace that, you know, that stereotype or whatever, that negative label, and by creating I Am a Coon. You should check that video if you haven't. Now I'm sure a lot of liberals and people of color are probably freaking out seeing this stuff, and they're like, oh, look what Trump's doing, look what he's bringing and all this stuff. And I don't think it's Trump. I mean, Trump pretty much denounces, like, you know, racism and all this stuff, and he said plenty of times that he's down for the LGBT community, he's down for Latinos and African Americans and stuff. Like, he wants to help out all these people. And even in the speech itself, Richard Spencer says that, Trump has been compromised too because he's for affirmative action and he's for all these things that help out minorities and stuff like that. So it's not Trump. These are just people acting on themselves, saying that they want things a certain way. They want America to be for white America. They want it, you know, and the thing is, what I understand what they're saying, because when you think about it, you got to think about this, that, you know, the United States is predominantly white people, over 60%. So when you have the mainstream media shitting all over white people, saying how evil they are, how racist they are, backing up all the fucking horrible rhetoric, all the racist rhetoric coming from the left and Black Lives Matter and all this stuff, a lot of people are getting sick and tired of it. And so they start creating conferences like this, talking about we need to look out for white people because we're being marginalized now. Because what the fuck's going on? Like, this was a country of white people, you know, for a long time, and all of a sudden, you know, now you're acting like white people are completely irrelevant. Could you imagine going to other countries, like, say for example, could you imagine going to China, where it's, you know, obviously predominantly Chinese people, and then you kind of like say you're maybe a minority of white people and saying that, hey, we need you all to cater to white people, like all Chinese people are racist and you're so privileged that you don't matter, you don't need to be taken care of anymore. Can you imagine what the fucking Chinese people would be doing? They'd be like, get the fuck out of our country, dude. Go back to some country where white people are completely catered to. And so that's kind of like what they're doing. And I get it, I understand it, because I would be fucking offended. If I was white, I would be really fucking pissed off at all this rhetoric saying that I'm automatically racist, that I'm automatically privileged just because of my white skin. Like, motherfuckers living in trailer parks, you know, they're automatically privileged, I guess. Motherfuckers that are sleeping on the street and don't have any food to eat are just automatically privileged just because of their fucking white skin. Now, to the contrary of a lot of stuff that Richard Spencer was saying, you know, I don't really, like, I'm not really down with the whole, like, white or black national or just pride itself. Like, I'm more of a, like, hey, we're a human race, let's just try to work together. And one thing that I've always championed, I talked about in a few videos, is Martin Luther King Jr. You know, his I Have a Dream speech, his ideology, things that he wanted. He did a lot for this country, you know, he brought a lot of us together. And then unfortunately, you have a lot of people on the left that are completely fucking destroying that. You know, they're wanting segregation again. They want they're completely dividing us. They're saying like white people this, white people that, white people this, white people that. I mean, it's pretty obvious that we're like, you know, the United States isn't just a white racist country, because obviously Obama would not have been able to be elected, because like I've said, it's white people predominantly in this country. So obviously white people had to predominantly vote for Obama. So that kind of already shatters that whole notion that they're just racist, because obviously that wouldn't be able to happen. So I think that if there wasn't so much of this fucking racist rhetoric or anti-white rhetoric coming from the left, from the far left, that a lot of this stuff wouldn't be springing up. There would be little pockets of racism like they've always existed. Like you talk about the KKK, which there's less than 10,000 members. How fucking irrelevant is that when there's over 3 million people in the country? I mean, come on. You're gonna have some neo-Nazis, you're gonna have all this dumb bullshit, and all you have to do is just ignore and laugh at them. And now you have like a little thing like this happen, and it's kind of like, I would say, maybe some of those people do fucking are Heiling Hitler, maybe they do believe in that shit, but I mean, if they do, it's kind of fucking silly, because nothing's gonna come of it. Nothing's gonna come of it at all. It's like, trust me when I say this, there isn't gonna be some huge fucking group of just white racist motherfuckers just taking over the United States and marching all over and having fucking massive Trump banners and stuff. And if for some reason, if that does happen, I will eat my fucking words. Alright, so the last thing I just want to bring up is I want to ask people that consider themselves in the alt-right, like the stuff that this Richard Spencer guy, make sure you check out this speech. You know, it's like a half hour or something like that. Do you agree with what he's saying? Is this what the alt-right is? People like, what is the alt-right? I mean, because I'm having a lot of people telling me that this is like COINTELPRO, it's just the media spinning stuff, and it kind of seems like there is to a certain extent. However, there is some very deep, you know, white nationalist rhetoric within his speech that a lot of people resonate with. So it kind of seems like it could be like borderline racist, like white power, stuff like that. So I just want to know, people that consider themselves alt-right, is that what you're about? Is this, do you agree with the white nationalist rhetoric, or is that bullshit? Or just give me an idea. Let's start a discussion. I really am like interested to see what people have to come up with, especially my audience. Anyways, let me know what you think of my analysis, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and Papa bless as usual. Hey, what's going on? I'm at the mall just editing the video, and I just want to give a shout out to my super sexy patrons. That is Mark, James, Troy, Candace, Zan, Charlie, April, Cameron, DJ, Blair, Coilette, Sebastian, Paul, Ian, Jason, Ramon, Jade, Shauna, Nicole, Chris, Dean, Jeffrey, Santiago, Brooks, Dallas, Sarah, Moot, Bex, Naja, Robert, Joseph, Jacob, Misty, Robert M, Greg, and Thomas. Thank you all so very much for being my patron. And if you guys want to be my patron, you can check it in the Templar or in the link in the description below. You all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.